Good. We ready? Everybody ready? Sounds good. All right, so we're officially sold out for the November 9th game, the season opener against New Hampshire. So that happened, a couple, hours ago, yesterday, today. So obviously very excited about that, and should be a fun atmosphere. It's probably still one of my favorite memories, other than maybe going to the Final Four, was playing in front of that game against Penn State when it was, I think Penn State and Iowa were true sellouts, those two. Penn State was for sure, and some of my best memories as an athlete here was running out into that atmosphere and that kind of game. So I'm really excited that our players get to experience that. So that should be a lot of fun. Plenty of other games that we want everybody hopefully to come back for. So, obviously we have the Big Ten ACC Challenge, and we have plenty of home games throughout November and December, and then into Big Ten play. So we're we're excited about that. Another note to announce that Godiva Hubbard suffered a right foot injury, and she needed to have surgery last Friday. And so she's going to be rehabbing, and we don't have a timetable yet, but she'll be working with our great training staff to be getting back as soon as possible. Questions?
She had the surgery on Friday?
Yes. Yeah, last Friday.
Is there a chance she comes back this season, or would you be looking at a redshirt for her?
We're, we're going to, hope to have her back when she's healthy. I mean, we're hopeful that she'll be back this season. So we'll just have to see how her rehab goes, to be honest. Well, that's kind of something more we'll know a little later down the road of her recovery, but we're hopeful.
Lindsay, is this something she did in practice, or did it happen before practice started?
Yeah, there wasn't. I don't know if there was I don't really remember a specific thing, but it was just around maybe that first or second week she had started to kind of complain, and you just have some soreness, and you could kind of start to see just her favoring it a little bit, and then they did some further testing and found that she had to require a procedure.
What is her absence due to the rotation?
Yeah, I mean, Sadie's guys to, step in a little more as a freshman. Key's going to have to play a little more too. Jazz Brunson they'll each have to play a little more 1 and 2, and just everybody just has to step up a little more in those guard spots. So, but I think everybody has to be ready, but I think those three, will be just asked to do more, and asked to maybe do more at different positions as well.
What has it been like to have the support of your Lynx teammates? Rebecca and D-Rob were there on Saturday. Mm-hmm. What has their involvement been with the program, the ones that are kind of sticking around?
D-Rob is probably going to be at every game. She wants to come to every game. She said that she can, and I know she'll probably be even more mobile when she's off of her boot. And I was because that happened in our season, and she still had that boot, so she's itching to get out of that boot. And I know she'll be at every, and I'm sure Brunson will as well. But she's a little more busy this off season, so but they'll all be, I'm sure, around and as much as possible. I know Syl is flying back for the game. Simone had talked about it, but I'm not for sure. But I know Syl will be in town for that game, and yeah. I believe. I mean, now plans might change, so we don't. She could change her flight, or something could come up that weekend. But she had said she wanted to, and so I think that's still in the works. But it's great. I mean, to have gone through so many great times with them and so many ups and downs, and then to still have them here and now excited about kind of this next chapter for me is really is great. So we'll welcome them whenever they want to come to any game. It'll be fun to watch them and kind of watch their progress as well into next season when they're getting ready for the Lynx season. And Ben and I already have our season tickets for next season, so we're excited to go to as many as we can of their games.
How much with what you're planning to do, at least offensively, is what you want to do and what you got here and looked at the roster and said,
yeah,
how much is you and how much is them?
Well, both sides of the ball is you said offense, right? Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of it is what you have an idea of what you want to do, but then when there's a lot of things too when you get here, it's like I don't know if that's really going to work as well. So or it's something that you've seen them do great that it's like, well, we should maybe try this a lot more. So, I mean, some of it is having a plan to come in and kind of formulating a lot of what I think we should do over the summer. And then especially in these weeks of October practice where we have so much time, that's when you kind of try to start to see more of what works and what doesn't. And then to me, you just have to be really, especially coming in a new situation, you have to be really flexible. And it has to be, you have your principles and this is how you want to do things, but at the same time, you have to be willing to really adjust because it's just, I mean, with the Lynx, from my experience, we did that a lot. We adjusted throughout the years. I mean, we were pick and roll heavy my first, 3 or 4 years, 5 years. And then when I became a really slow player, we had to give the ball to Sylmore. And so that's how it worked out. And we still got to win some championships, so it was good.
Do you feel like that's the sign of, a smart coach, someone who is not just enforcing their system on what they have, but obviously you're able to recruit, but it's being able to really notice those things?
Yeah, I hope so. Because I think so. Because I mean, it worked for us with the Lynx. Because when we went more to inside to Sill and whatnot, it ended up working out really well for us. And so I think that you have to just go to your strengths and you have to try to put people in positions where they're going to be successful. And the more successful they are, the more confidence they gain. So I definitely think it's something that you've seen the Golden State Warriors have almost changed the game of basketball with having, playing small ball and more of the space and everybody driving and then spacing for threes. So I think now it seems like everybody in the NBA is trying to, catch up, but at the same time trying to think of what's next too and trying to stay ahead of the curve. So as coaches, I think that those are the best coaches that are trying to change and then also stay ahead of the game and stay ahead of the curve.
How can Destiny Pitts improve this year coming off of her Big Ten Freshman of the Year season?
Yeah, I think for Destiny, I think defensively, just working on we're obviously playing more man-to-man this year, so I think just working on all those principles on her footwork and closing out and containing penetration, having an impact on that end of the floor. And they played mostly 2-3 zone last year, so a lot of this is new to a lot of the players. So we're, for her, that's a big thing. And then she shot the 3 great last year, and she'll continue to do that. But I think just moving her around more and finding different spots for her to be effective, with and without the ball.
Apart from X's and O's, as a coach, I mean, with Gopher, for example, very difficult time for her. How did you handle that? Was that a new experience for you to be in kind of that role? Yeah, she's pretty down when she first found out, and so just was I just kind of, hey, look, I've been there. I know what it feels like. I know this isn't the news you wanted to hear, but I just pretty much said we need you. We need you at practice. She's got a great personality. She's a super funny kid. So I said, I need you here to make me laugh and to be, making sure, like, hold these guys accountable too. You know what it's supposed to look like. She played 35 minutes a game last year. So I'm like, what this is supposed to be. So I need you to be with here helping me. And I just said, you bring so much to the team, whether you're on the court or off, and we're still going to need that for sure. So was she going to be a part of obviously part of the rotation, but with your decision to kind of move Pitts more to a forward role, was she probably going to come off the bench?
I hadn't really, thought. We were kind of just getting to the point where we were going to start getting first team our rotations down when she got hurt. But she would play 35 minutes a game last year, so was going to, and hopefully still was going to be a huge part of our rotation, what we want to do. And so whether that was starting or off the bench, she was going to be, and hopefully is still going to be a huge factor for us.
You can ignore this if I missed it walking in, but your reaction to the Big Ten poll that came out yesterday, picked 3rd in media, I believe, and Kenesha and Destiny getting some recognition there.
Yeah, obviously, those two have had, they had huge years last year and made a really big impact on the conference. So they're well deserved, and that's from their hard work and what they were able to do last year. And us pick 3rd. It's I've never really read too much into the preseason stuff, but it goes to show what they were able to do last year and kind of the the way that they were able to make a run there in the end, and in the end of February and into March. So it's hard to, this is my first year in the conference, and so my first year as a coach. So we'll just see. I mean, obviously it's a nice honor and everything to be thought of in that, but we'll see. We have to go out and prove it on the court.
As a first time coach, would you rather go under the radar, or do you like the expectation?
I'm good either way. I don't know. It's nothing I can control, so I'm good with it. If we were picked third by the media, and media's very smart. I mean, media personnel is very you guys know what you're doing, so I feel good about that.
So when you get that sellout crowd for the opener, what do you feel your team needs to show people to get them to come back? What's your sense of what Gophers fans expect and want to see from the program?
Yeah, I think just a team that plays really tough, plays together, and has a lot of fun doing it. I think that playing the right way, playing unselfish, playing tough-nosed on the defensive side of the ball, and then sharing the ball, making the right play, not making the home run play, but yet having an entertaining style of basketball. I think that those have been the best teams I've been on. I feel like those are the teams I usually like to watch as a fan. So, with that first game, we'll see. I mean, 14,000 in a first game, there's obviously going to be a lot of jitters. So it'll be exciting, but, hopefully we will be able to settle in and do some of what we tried to practice over these last couple of months in that game.
You talked in the past about that first time that I think after the water main broke in the pavilion and you moved into play. I think it was Indiana.
Yeah, Indiana. Yeah.
And how the crowd was so big that you guys missed most of your shots. It was like you were kind of frazzled.
Oh yeah.
I mean, is there any way you can get your kids ready for that?
I don't know. It's just something you have to experience for yourself, and that's why I'm so glad that they get to, because. Yeah, we did miss our first 12 shots, and the ball was going everywhere. But we settled down in the second half. We ended up winning because we had such a great advantage. But it's just something you have to go through as an individual, and you can prepare them and everything. But it's just one of those things you have to go out there and experience. And thankfully, they get to experience that because it's really a lot of fun.
Lindsay, one thing that often perplexes coaches on that raised floor for the first time is where to stand, whether to sit, where to put the stool. Do you use the stool? Do you sit on the bench? Have you given much thought to how you're going to handle it?
I'll stand. Yeah, I'll stand. At least for my first 20 years of coaching, and then I'll probably maybe grab a stool for my last, 15 to 20 years. But yeah, no, I'll start off standing, and then I don't know. I mean, I feel like Tubby had a stool. Coach Pam always stood. I think Marlene always stood, so Richard stands and runs around. So I think I'll stand. So yeah, it'll be good, I think.
Are you going to take a lot from having played for Cheryl in terms of the way she acts during a game? Do you think you're going to be a pretty vocal coach, a pretty emotional one, or do you think you're going to be pretty calm?
I don't know. We'll see. Depends on what the score of the game is, most likely. But I'll probably take a little bit of all the coaches that I've played for, and then some of it is just going to be me and the way I've been as a point guard, and tried to, for the most part, remain calm. But then I'll feel like I'll know when we need to light a fire and when we need to get going. So yeah. But that's we'll find out after these first couple games.
You said that the players would probably have a little bit of jitters as far as that first game. Will you? Do you think?
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. It's a big game. Next game is always a big game. So I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully not. Hopefully I'll be able to actually write on the board still. And won't forget everything, all the plays I'm trying to drop. We'll see.
Any other questions for Coach?
Thanks, guys. See you next Tuesday.